ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. Today we bear witness, and every day we bear witness that there's nothing worthy worship except Allah. That Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his last and final messenger. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us, that gatherings in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is remembered, in which Islamic knowledge is shared, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down the angels and sends down his blessings. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us today in this gathering, and for it to be a gathering which increases and strengthens our iman. And the purpose of Jum'ah, or one of the wisdoms behind Jum'ah prayer, is that the Muslims gather. They see one another, and the Imam reminds them of certain issues, encourages them, refreshes their enthusiasm towards Islam, so that the rest of the week they are in high spirits. And as you all know, this week Muslims were targeted once again. And it's not me, I'm not the expert in politics, so we'll leave the counter, the refutations to the lawyers and to the Muslims who are capable of that, who are experts in the field. But rather today I want to do something, inshallah, that's great, that has great benefit. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow it to be beneficial. We are all businessmen and women in this world, meaning every one of us seeks to profit, and that's perfectly normal. But today, I wanted to teach us, or maybe try and be spiritual businessmen as well, by taking what we perceive to be outwardly a negative event, something that might harm us, something that scares us. And for some, it causes them to hide their identity. I want us to take that and use it to invest in our own spirituality, to strengthen our iman and our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when events like these happen, it's very simple. It's very easy to connect something like that with the stories of the prophets. Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhim ajma'in. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise their names, the names of the prophets. We connect this with that. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shared the stories of the prophets, especially the story of Musa alayhi salam, for us to reflect. And we need reflection. And us as Muslims, we need to strengthen ourselves. No one is born with strong iman. No one is perfect. We are all humans and we have the emotion of fear. It is normal for even the strongest person in iman to be afraid when someone threatens them, when someone tries to harm them. That's perfectly normal. Even our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. And all these stories of the prophets, we narrate to them, we narrate the stories to you, so that they be a form or a source that will strengthen your heart, keep you firm on Islam. And many times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَا تَحْزَنْ. Don't be sad over what they say. Don't be sad over their disbelief. Don't be sad in their rejection of you, even though you put your effort in. Don't be sad. So today we are going to reflect on the story of Musa, the verses found towards the end of Surah Yunus alayhi salam, so that we can take what happened this week and increase our iman with it. And create this tradition between us that whenever something like this happens, it only strengthens our iman. It makes us stronger. It makes us more persistent and more dedicated to our faith. Fir'aun, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, became a tyrant. He became the superpower of his time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him one of the best prophets ever, Musa alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us what happened between him and Musa for several years, if not decades. This was going on between Musa and the Pharaoh. They were at it for decades. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. And I remind you of when Musa alayhi salam first became a prophet. What happened? When he was traveling back to Egypt with his family, he saw that light. So he said, I'm going to go there. Right? Maybe there's someone there who can guide us on the road where we're going. Or at least I can light a torch so that we can walk around and get some warmth from it. That's what he had intended to go to. That's in his mind. Well, when he arrived, he got something completely different. He became a messenger. So what we might perceive to be something very simple turns out to be something very great. And this is something that's unfolding today here in America. That whenever we're attacked, you find that our friends from the interfaith community and those who used to actually harm us from the media are actually defending us now. Now you see women in hijab on commercials, Pepsi commercials and all these other commercials. We didn't see that before. So what we perceive to be harming us is actually pushing us forward, getting us more immersed in this society here in America, which we love. So Musa went and he became a prophet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, throw your stick down. And it became a snake. But what was Musa's reaction when he became a snake? He ran away out of fear. This is who Musa alayhi salam was when he first started. He ran out of fear. But slowly his iman increased and increased. With what? With events like what happened to us a few days ago. Every time Musa saw or went to Fir'aun, his iman increased. He told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah first told him to go to Fir'aun, to Pharaoh, he said, I'm afraid. I can't do this alone. At least give me Harun. My tongue is weak. I have a little bit of a lisp when I speak. Send Harun, my brother, with me because he has a stronger tongue. I'm afraid. They have a crime against me. I'm afraid to go. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, don't be afraid. Go and we're with you. That was the first time. And then when he met with the sorcerers, he was still afraid, but a little bit less. Right? A little bit less, because he gained some experience. He went through some hardship. So when he first met with the sorcerers and they brought out their magic and their illusions, وَجَاءُ سِحْرٍ عَظِيمٍ, he was a little bit afraid. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to tell him, he had to guide him. Musa, it's okay, stay calm. Throw down your stick. So Musa threw his stick. Right? But when he was chased out, or when they fled from Egypt, and they found the sea in front of them, what was Musa's reaction now? When his people were saying, we're doomed, we're going to be annihilated. Fir'aun is behind us, they're catching up, and the sea is in front of us. How are we going to get out of this? Look at Musa's reaction. After decades of hardship, after decades of dealing with this tyrant, what did he say? قَالَ كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. This time Musa was like, Allah is with me, He's going to guide me. But that reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't come out of nowhere. He wasn't born with that. He didn't just get it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him here's your reliance. It's not the way it works. Rather, with tens of years of experience dealing with hardships, he got to that level. So don't perceive any of these attacks, right? We're like a pawn in this game of politics. Don't perceive it as something harmful for us. Rather, look at it as an investment in your own iman. Use it to strengthen yourself. And know that the strategies being used today are the same things that were used back then. Fir'aun used the same things. And look at this verse. He said, قالوا, they said, him and his posse, قالوا وجئتنا لتلفتنا عما وجدنا عليه آباءنا. Have you come, Musa, to change, to deviate us from our path, our customs, our traditions? They use the same thing today. They're taking away Christmas from us. Right? Isn't that what Fox News says? We're not meant to be political here. We're rather kind of comparing what happened then with now. So that when we look at the Quran has more weight in our hearts. And the effect of the Quran actually enters our heart as it's supposed to. They said the same thing back then. You come to change our ways. قَالُوا إِنْ هَذَانِ لَسَاحِرَانِ. When the magicians came. So these are just two magicians. They're imitating you. Right? You're a better magician. إِنْ هَذَانِ لَسَاحِرَانِ يُرِيدَانِ أَنْ يُخْرِجَاكُمْ مِنْ أَرْضِكُمْ بِسِحْرِهِمَا. They've come to kick you out of your lands. Right? Sharia is coming to take over the world, as they say. Right? And they say that, look, وَتَكُونَ لَكُمَ الْكِبْرِيَاءُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. You've come to overtake our political entity. You've come to take our throne. Right? You're coming to take over. They think we're going to wave the ISIS flag on top of the White House. And we all know this is not even in our minds. We come here to prayer, we just like praying, we love living here in America because of its organization, its opportunities. It's not even on our mind. They want to convince others that that's on our mind. Musa alayhi salam did not come. No prophet came or was sent to their people to take over the political field. This is not the case. They came with the message of La ilaha illallah. They came to show people that there is a way of life that's more beneficial to you, that brings you happiness, that brings you stability. It speaks out against injustice. It makes sure that the poor people are taken care of. And it makes sure that those who are more privileged don't take advantage of those who are less privileged. That's the message of Islam. Muhammad ﷺ did not come. His message was not to become the leader of Mecca. That's not what happened, ended up happening. Right? But that wasn't the initial intention. Nor Musa alayhi salam. Musa just said, give me the children of Israel and let us go. That's all he said. He told them the message of Allah. He said, just give me the children of Israel and let us leave. Let us go back to Palestine. But that wasn't enough. No. You've come to take over our land. You've come to change our customs and traditions. You want us to deviate from the path of our forefathers. This is what you came with. Propaganda. To sway the masses. And then they had the meetings with the sorcerers. Right? What they perceived, the Muslims at that time perceived to be an enemy, what happened to them? When they saw the miracle of Musa alayhi salam, when his stick became a giant snake. They knew that wasn't magic. What happened? They became Muslim. So Fir'aun had a plot. He said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring all these people, all these great musicians from around Egypt, bring them and we're going to destroy you. We're going to prove that you are a false prophet. But what ended up happening? Those people who came as enemies to Musa alayhi salam, by the end of that event, they became friends of Musa alayhi salam. So what might be something we perceive to be a harmful event, something that might destroy us, ends up being something that benefits Islam, faith, 1,000 times more. This is the reality of Islam. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the end, He's the one in control. And He is the all-wise, He's the one who plots and plans. So when you see something like this, don't be discouraged. Don't fear that that's it, we're done. We're going to end up leaving America or we're going to be put in internment camps. It's not going to, inshallah, that won't happen. Say Ameen. So this is the story of Musa alayhi salam. And it goes on and tells us what happened. Use that. Remember that. Remember that you need these stories to strengthen your own selves. And remember what a faith, monotheism, went through from Adam alayhi salam until now. It survived the criticisms of the people of Noah, who told him, oh, you're just, all these people who are following you, they're weak people who have they're weak-minded and whatever, right? It survived that. It survived the might of Ad. They used to say, who is stronger than us? Man ashaddu minna quwwa. Who's stronger than us? But faith survived. It survived the onslaught of the people of Thamud. When they plotted to kill Saleh and his family, it survived that. It survived the transgressions of the people of Lut and their mischief. It survived that. It survived the people of Shu'aib and their guile and their connivery. They cheat and plot and plan. It survived that. Islam survived the Pharaoh. Islam survived the betrayal of Musa, of those who were with Isa alayhi salam, the one person who betrayed him. It survived that. It survived Quraysh. It survived the apostasy wars. It survived the Crusaders. It survived the Mongols. And it will survive today. But these things aren't meant to just make us afraid and that's it. They're meant to make you stronger. And know that a diamond does not become a diamond except after going through an immense amount of pressure. So use these to make yourselves diamonds. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Stories help us. The prophets are our role models. But the prophets, the Quran also gives us practical measures, a practical strategy to face these challenges. And in these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a few. He tells us that Musa alayhi salam said, وَقَالَ مُوسَى فما آمن لموسى إلا ذرية من قومه على خوف من فرعون وملئه. Only a group of youth, look at Allah said youth, a group of youth believed in Musa during this time. All his propaganda, a group of youth arose. And this shows us that during these hard times, it is for us to empower the younger generation. They're the ones who stand up to this. And alhamdulillah, with efforts like CARE, they have presented or told us that in these last elections, happened a few weeks ago, that a lot of Muslims, a group of Muslims, have actually been elected into city councils. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Look at the reaction, look at the results of the propaganda and our struggles of this current administration. We have a sister in Arizona right next to us who's running for Senate, and she wears a hijab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her tawfiq. And regardless of whether she wins or not, her face is in the media. And that's a start. So with these comes a lot of good. Look for the good and forget the bad. Know that that bad only leads to that good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sometimes allows a little bit of bad, so a lot of good can come out of it. So the youth have a big role to play. Make sure your children, your grandchildren, know that they are strong enough to deal with this situation. That when some hide their faith, others make it clear. Alhamdulillah, we have some youth in this masjid who started an MSA in their school. Youth, from my youth group, alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them tawfiq. So the importance of youth in hardships like these, they arise to the challenge. Don't underestimate them. Help them out. You have experience, the older generation, you have experience. Guide them. Guide them, use them. And know that they will bring about a lot of good for Islam, insha'Allah. And then Musa alayhi salam said, وَقَالَ مُوسَى يَا قَوْمِ إِن كُنْتُمْ آمَنْتُمْ بِاللَّهِ O my people. Musa is telling his people, O my people, if you have believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَعَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنْتُمْ مُسْلِمِينَ Then put your reliance on Him if you truly are submitters to Allah, if you truly are Muslims. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we all believe here, I have no doubt, every one of us believes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect. He is perfect. He is perfect in His mercy. He is perfect in His generosity. He is perfect in His knowledge. He is perfect in His strength. He is perfect in His wisdom. That He, in the end, is in control of everything. And He uses these situations to make you stronger, to invest in you, to give you an opportunity to get closer to Him. So if we truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's perfection, then when we hear things like this, remember Allah. Remember Him. Remember who is with you. Remember the one who was with Musa alayhi salam, for he is with you. Remember that. Remember the Sahaba when they were damaged and injured after the Battle of Uhud. And the news came to them that they are coming back. The opposition is coming back to take us down, to finish us off. And Muhammad said, get up. Those who came with me, get up now. We're going to face them. They're injured. What was their reaction? قَالُوا حَسْبُنَ اللَّهِ فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا That increased their faith. Why? Because in that hard time, they attached themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than ever. Attach yourselves to Allah in these situations. Remember the Lord, the Creator who you worship. Remember Him. Remember that when you are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are with the most perfect. So use this. Use these events and similar events to remember Allah and to tell your heart, I am with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Attach myself to Allah. Do that. That's two advices. Third, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى وَأَخِيهِ أَن تَبَوَّأَ لِقَوْمِكُمَا بِمِصْرَ بُيُوتًا And we revealed to Musa alayhi salam, his brother Harun alayhi salam, to take proper measures. This is the time where things got very bad, got really hard. This is just before they left Egypt. Right? He told them, make sure you guys hide in your houses. Take the proper measures to deal with the situation. Alhamdulillah, we have many institutions now that are strong and doing a lot of great work. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them tawfiq. Say ameen. And always make dua for these institutions, for CARE, for MLFA, for all these charity organizations, Uplift and Islamic Relief. Make dua for them. Access California. Make dua for them. They need our dua. They do a lot of great work. And follow them on Facebook and the social media. When they have an event, at least once or twice a year, go help them out. Visit their organization. Say, I just came here to visit and give you my dua. If you need any help, please let me know. Join the email list. I know sometimes they put a lot out there, but you know what? We can help them out. They do a lot of good work. At least make dua for them. Take the proper measures to deal with the situation. Number 4, وَجَعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ Make your houses a place where you worship and establish prayer. Prayer. When things get rough, we go to prayer. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ Use patience and prayer as a means of strengthening your own selves. Prayer. It is your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the 5-10 minutes that we pray 5 times a day, where your mind should leave behind your worries and your stress and focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the place where we do sujood and we are closest to the highest, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we make dua. So pray. When things get rough, resort to prayer. And make sure you pray. Start off, brothers and sisters. Take a step. Come and pray Fajr and Isha in the masjid. There's a lot of reward in it. I've said it before and I'll continue to remind you of the reward. That the one who prays Isha in the masjid, then they get the reward of praying half a night. And the one who prays Fajr in the masjid, then they get the reward of praying an entire night. And the Prophet ﷺ said, بَشِّرِ الْمَشَّائِينَ بِالظُّلُمَاتِ بِنُورِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ Give glad tidings to those who walk at night to go to the masjid, meaning Isha and Fajr prayer. Give them glad tidings that on the Day of Judgment they'll have light. And know that every step you take to the masjid and from the masjid, you go home, that there is reward in that. It raises you. One step raises you a level, and one step takes a sin from you. And know that when you pray in a jama'ah, in a congregation, you get 27 times the reward. And the larger the congregation is, the more reward there is. So start off by coming to Fajr and coming to Isha prayer. And then finally, وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Give glad tidings to the believers. Give glad tidings. This is a sunnah we have lost. The Quran several times says, وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Give them glad tidings. When you do a good deed, remember that there is a paycheck waiting for you on the Day of Judgment. You didn't do this for no reason. Remember, every time you smile for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writes you a bonus. Remember that whatever you suffer for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever you suffer because you are a mu'min, because you are a believer, because you are someone who ascribes to Islam, know that there's a paycheck waiting for you. Remember that. That's important. Because sometimes we don't want to go to work in the morning. Sometimes we want to sit home and rest. But we know that if we go to work, there's a paycheck waiting for us, and that gives us inspiration. Because we want to make sure we provide for our family. So like we inspire ourselves, like we encourage ourselves with our paycheck at work, then encourage yourselves with the paycheck with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know the incentives Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us to do good deeds. At least 10 times the reward. That's it. Right? So remember that there is good waiting for you, there's a paycheck waiting for you. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow these events to be an investment for our own iman, to make us stronger and closer to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. A few announcements. Make dua for Mrs. Khutbah, Khatun, Murtaza, mother of Juwaid, Murtaza and his 3 brothers and sister, who passed away on Friday the 17th of natural causes. Also for sister, so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive her sins and overlook her shortcomings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make her grave a paradise. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give her family patience. And make dua for her sister Amida Shirzoi, who is in very critical condition. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant her a quick recovery and to grant her family patience. And also make dua for sister Jihan Kashash, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, who passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to overlook her sins and forgive her sins and to grant her family patience and to make her grave a paradise. A few announcements. OCIF annual blood drive is on Sunday, January 7th. Please sign up online at redcross.org using the code OCIF. Our full-time Islamic Pillar School is inviting you to stop by outside, have some lemonade and homemade desserts, and visit the school. All classes and youth group meetings are resumed today. Our first My OC workshop is coming on Friday, December 15th. The title of the workshop is Who Was Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is hosted by My OC, the group which I lead, the group of youth who, mashallah, they're very bright, a bright group. It is open to the community. You are more than welcome to come. Again, this is Friday the 17th. It will start at 6 o'clock. I'll be around 6 o'clock. And it'll be around an hour and a half. Aisha is at 7 o'clock. Please join us. Again, this is open to the community, but it's hosted by My OC. Also, please help us out with charity. Please donate to the masjid. Your money helps contribute to the masjid, to expanding our efforts. And know that, alhamdulillah, next year I have a lot of things, or a few things planned to kind of make a little more activity in the Muslims, to provide more lectures and workshops like these for the community, inshallah, to benefit from. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins and to grant us iman. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our knowledge and remind us and teach us how to worship Him, how to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us strong through Him. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر وأقم الصلاة.